This has been very powerful, and I appreciate it, to say the least.
Thank you for having me here.
Thanks so much, Aaron and Sean. So actually, Victor is going to take over now, but there's a number of questions that have been posed. So I'll let Victor ask the questions. Go ahead, Victor.
Thank you. So the first question is, are police dogs ever used against women?
Yes. When police dogs are used to apprehension, it doesn't matter the gender of a person. They've been used on all genders.
Is the racial makeup of law enforcement union leadership? Changing this seems significant too in changing the culture of law enforcement. How can this be facilitated?
And that's another great question. And so against the studies that I have done, the research I have done has the same indications that there's a lack of diversity in union leadership, which translates to some of the issues of accountability and transparency. If the unions, because of we have a Peace Officer Bill of Rights, which allows and affords, I should say, law enforcement officers due process, that's strongly supported by the unions and enforced by the unions, and that's where the culture comes. So when you see the lack of diversity, the implications are the same. There's even studies about, excuse me, a disparity in discipline, and it's a local study, disparity of discipline of officers of color, and the correlation of the unions as well.
Thank you. The next question actually has two parts. How many police canines are there in San Jose and in Santa Clara County? Are there written policies on the use of police canines in apprehending suspects? And how often are these policies reviewed?
Policies aren't reviewed. The policies aren't reviewed in time fashion. You go to our website, it says the policies are supposed to be reviewed annually, and they're not. I can show you policies that are dated back to 2002. So mounted dogs in either agency, I'm not sure. I can't give you specifics. We've had as many as 20 bite dogs in my career at one time, and as a minimum, at least as a minimum number of 5. San Jose Police Department, I can't speak specifically to that.
It can even vary from precinct to precinct in large cities, and it can vary from police department to police department within a county like Santa Clara County.
I would agree with that, yes.
Are there written policies on the cruel treatment in dog training?
I have yet to see anything like that, but doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Do attack canines do double duty as drug or bomb sniffing dogs, or are those different canine populations?
So you will hear the term dual purpose, and a dual purpose dog can be a dog that's trained to bite, and on the other spectrum, trained to find drugs and cell phones and explosives. And then we at the Sheriff's Office, we have dogs that are dual purpose, and we have dogs that are singular purpose. And our total complete purpose is to find drugs and cell phones and other contraband out there in public and in our facilities.
Thank you. The last question that we have so far is the following. What is the hardest area that you find in advocating against the use of canines? Systematically, where do you find that there is a brick wall, not necessarily just in the US, but internationally as well, where all the other...
That's a topic that's, I would associate to things like tasers and other tools, even the militarized weapons we have in law enforcement, such as the armored car and so on and so forth. Yeah, we as law enforcement, we look at it as a tool that we use effectively from our perspective. So again, that's a conversation where you have to change that perception for the law enforcement culture, and you have to change that perception and that position of our law enforcement leadership and our politicians. And so to answer your question in short, there's going to be a lot of resistance to that. I would say that it's not impossible, but it's going to take a lot of work and a lot of exposure to institute even that happening on a low scale.
Transition now to what can be done, how can we work together to stop this practice? And, you know, one of the things is, I think we all need to educate ourselves. I can just admit that until Aaron brought to my attention the excellent article that he referenced, the Marshall Project, I wasn't that aware of the situation. I'm now more aware, and let me share my screen. The article or series of articles that includes some YouTubes from the Marshall Project, Mauled When Police Dogs Are Weapons. I just suggest that if you're really interested in finding out more, to check this out. The Marshall Project has really done some excellent work relating to criminal justice. It's pretty intense to watch some of the videos, but again, I'd suggest you might check it out. Also, as we were discussing this evening, there are a number of different references that you can look at, and I'm not going to read through them now, but again, research some of these things, educate yourselves. And I think the key thing here is we need to really educate our elected officials, whether they be at the state level, the county, the city level. We need to meet with our police chief, our sheriff, the people that make the policy decisions about this. I think that a lot of our elected officials really aren't aware of how extreme these injuries are and how there's the disproportionate impact. So I think we really need to educate our politicians and our public officials. And with that, one final thing, the email contacts for Aaron, myself, and Sean are on the screen as well. Feel free to reach out to us. I sincerely appreciate the participation of Sergeant Allen, Aaron, and thank you so much, Victor, for helping us out this evening.